Must have never had Nigerian jollof, Ali stick and go. Mix it up like Riddick Bowl. Mix Holyfield with Smoking Joe. What's that? Smoke. Travis got 2 fights, 2 wins, and KJ got no fights, no losses. Tunde was the first guest on the show. You know that we only sit down with bosses. Wax on, wax off, Mr. Miyagi, master the craft like master.
Please welcome firstly boxing out of the red corner.
Money made, glamorous ting.
Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of the Red Corner.
Oh my days. Listen, bro, if you see the highlights of this person that we got in the red corner right now, yeah, you know it's about to go down. Travis, let's go, bro. Come on.
Before we get cracking, KG, what's your tail of the tape, bro?
Gee, I'm 0-0. Never fought, never lost. But if I did, someone's getting knocked out, and it's not me. Travis, what is your tail of the tape, bro?
2-0, fam. Yeah, 50% knockout rate. Half the men that entered the ring with me, they left on their back, bro.
That's what they did. But you know what? Applause is needed because it's the one and only Josh Goodin in the house. Let's go. But listen, Josh, without further ado, bro, what's your tail of the tape?
My tail of the tape is I'm 2-0. I'm coming for everybody's body. I'm coming for the ribs. It's barbecue season out here. Make sure you get your pork rack. Make sure you get your beef rack and put it on that barbecue because I'm coming for them ribs.
Let's go.
2-0, baby. Team Diamonds.
2-0.
See where it says no pressure, no diamonds. No pressure, no diamonds.
Oh
I'll
my
put the pressure on
days.
myself.
Jeez.
Are you lot hearing? No.
Barbecue season.
Barbecue season, bro.
It's cold, but barbecue all year round.
Small barbecues, man.
And you know what? No lies are being told right now. If you see, usually when we do this, you know, we scour like Instagram and all these things and we're like, who's next? And I was watching your fighting style, yeah, and I was like, nah, he's taking the piss. You get real tight, close to the body, and you let the hands go, but body shots though. And I feel like I can hear what the person says when he takes that one to the body. It's like and he just goes down.
No, they don't even say that. They go, mommy, no.
Oh my days. No, seriously, welcome, man. Glad to have you.
I appreciate it. Really humbling.
Oh man, it's dope. So Trav, set the pace, bro.
Yeah, man. Tell us about day one for you in boxing, like the very first moment that you were introduced to the environment, the sport, the lifestyle. What was that like for you?
It's a good question. Came late on. I mean, I had sort of 2 births in the boxing. One when I was about 19, and I went into the first actual amateur boxing gym I went to was Carl Froch's boxing gym in Nottingham, or amateur boxing club called Phoenix. I'm originally from Luton, but was studying up in Nottingham at the time, and so I went into that gym just to test it out, and I got put in the Lions then. I'm a stocky guy by nature, but I was big then. Like we're talking like 15 stone type. So wow. I was like a heavyweight, but I'm only 5'8". Still was taking ribs though. Just bigger ribs. But essentially, I kept on getting fed that I was too small for boxing. I was too small. I couldn't get my weight down, and I sort of bought into other people's perception of me. And then, say, fast forward on 4 years, I met Errol McDonald. And Errol McDonald is a well-esteemed amateur in the amateur ranks. Everybody knows him. One of the, especially in Nottingham, one of the only undefeated ABA champions ever.
Come on.
Yeah.
Oh,
you want to talk about Mayweather's 50-0? Like Errol McDonald from amateur to professional went 49 fights unbeaten. Then when he lost his first fight for the European title, but it was on a disqualification in Italy in the 12th round. So basically, got robbed for it. So crazy. But it was actually like I have a lot to owe Errol, because when I jumped into boxing, I'd say properly at 23 years old, he said, "Don't worry about your height. I'll teach you how to outbox these guys." He was like, "I'll teach you a way to win." He was like, "If you've got it here and you've got it here," was like, I'll teach you a way to win. And he taught me a way to win. And so I sort of never looked back in boxing from then. Moved up to Nottingham full-time at Bad Boys Boxing Gym with Aaron McDonald. And this is just the beginning. No pressure, no diamonds.
Oh, that's beautiful, man. Now I need to round my applause quickly on that one. Still, I'm big up Errol, man. That's
big up Errol
story, man. That's a super
real
story.
So like, sorry, just before you get there, bro. What takes you to boxing though? Is it a thing where it's like, oh, you're just trying to get fit, something to do, or is it like it's a thing where the lifestyle outside the ring, or lifestyle before boxing has made you think, you know what, I'm scrapping out here, I'm doing this anyway, I might as well do it in a proper setting. Like, what was your motivation to just go and check out amateur boxing?
Yeah, don't let the slick hair fool you and the pretty face, the blue eyes fool you, man. Like, I've been a dog from early. And I don't just say that to oppress upon people. Like, anyone that knows me growing up. There was something that was in me that I knew was different. I've always been an avid competitor. It's just been like I can't take that out of me. I mean, if my mum goes, I'm gonna walk 5 miles. I say to my mum, well, I'm gonna walk 6 miles, and it's just been that deep. And it started off with football. My mum never used to let me want to let me box because she said she suffered in her age, but a West Indian woman that if you're under her roof, you follow her rules, and if she says no, it's no, unless if you leave her house. There can't be two bulls under one roof. So so she told me I weren't allowed to box. So it wasn't until I left home I could box. But really, what it stemmed from, the wanting to box, was just that raw competition inside me, and there's no raw than being in that ring by yourself. Even when I was playing football, it was funny because about 2 weeks ago I was doing a talk at my old college, and my lecturer, I was always valued in football just because of my raw competitiveness. I was never the best footballer. I was decent, but never the best. But every team would value me because I'd been that drive to everybody else. Problem was that sometimes it would overspill to that point where if you pressed me, it's a problem for you. And ribs will get taken on the football pitch too. And that's probably when we knew, like, let's take it to a sport where we really allowed to so that's pretty much where it comes from. Just that raw competitiveness. Like, I want to win. Like, you come to the boxing gym now, if people are on job, they know they got a hard session when they see me in the gym, and they see me in the gym every day. So they know they got a hard session every day, and they know if they do more press ups than me, well, I'm gonna beat that, and I'll keep going until I beat that. And I may not always win on the day, but I'm gonna come back until I win, and that's just it. It's just that simple.
Yeah, no, this drive. So was that something God given? You just been born with this drive, or is that something you've had to coach your mind into, saying, you know what, I want this? Or like, what are you reaching for? What are you aspiring for?
I mean, when I say no pressure, no diamonds, there's a philosophy behind that. What I'm doing, it's nothing in comparison to what my mother and grandmother and grandfather did. My mum was an immigrant coming over from St Vincent at 16 years old, came over to England with $1 and a dream. Like, she was having to graft from nothing. We were sleeping on a single bed in my grandmother's house. That's pressure. And the reason why I say it's a diamond, because in the Vincentian flag there's 3 diamonds. So she come over and she dealt with the pressure. She created diamonds. So that's how deep it is for me. Like, how can I talk about pressure? How can I not build up on what my mother did when she dealt with real pressure? Like, I've got a roof over my head now. Like, my mum was born like a little shack. Like, when I go back to St Vincent and she shows me where she was born, it ain't nothing. I ain't got nothing in comparison. Or she didn't have nothing in comparison to what I have. So there's no pressure, no diamonds. Last gem to drop. My grandfather always used to give me a mango every time I went to St Vincent. He planted a mango tree, and every morning he'd give me a mango. And I never really deeped what he meant by giving me that mango until he passed away last year. And I had time to reflect. Every morning he was giving me the sweetest fruit on the planet. Every morning. And that was to say, enjoy the fruits of my labor. But not just this. What is that at the end of the mango once you finished?
Seed.
Seed. So he said to me, enjoy the fruits of my labor, but here's your seed, plant it. And that's why there's no pressure, no diamonds.
Oh my
Jeez.
days. Yeah. I needed that, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, raw.
That hit.
It's so true.
Yeah,
That hit. You know, and literally watching you and just for someone that hasn't, there's so much more for you to do in this game. You sound right, and
Your mindset is ready.
Yeah, we need these type of characters within boxing. You know, because boxing sometimes it can be plain at times, or people have a certain character, but it's not really real. You know, what I mean. This is like you can get the vibe. You understand why you're speaking the way you're speaking, which
I
is
like how you carry the deep roots with you. Do you know what I mean? And that's powerful.
Yeah. So even you, obviously, family is so important to you, and even on your first fight, I think there was a lot of people in the house. Even someone carrying the St Vincent flag, or was that second?
Yeah.
You bring a big crowd.
Yeah,
wow.
I'm really blessed. I can't be nothing but grateful. My cousin actually came all the way over from St Vincent, and my family aren't affluent at all. Like he like that was deep to come out of his pocket to come all the way to St Vincent to watch me fight. I've got family situated in Reading, in High Wycombe, in Luton, in London, and they all came out for that fight just to show their support. And it was to show the support for me, but also the culture and the community, because in St Vincent, we're a small island. There's like 300,000 people on the actual island. My mum was born in Beckway. There's less than 10,000 people on that island. So like we need to shout about our heritage, our lineage and our roots. And I'm proud to be British also, but I'm really proud to be Vincentian because it means so much to the country to have someone representing them, and I'm just nothing but humbled.
That's respect.
I'm already respect, you know, because I'm already invested in your career.
I'm excited.
I'm like, no, don't hit him. You know what I mean? And obviously, you take a few risks. I've seen you drop the hands. Obviously, you want to put on a show. Yeah. What's Errol saying to you about that? Is he like, I like that, or is he like, rein it in?
Well, Errol's called the Chosen One. Like that was his fight name. So he's not. I mean, don't get me wrong. He wants me to not get hit, and that's why we work so much on the head movement. Literally every day, it's all about the head movement, moving the feet. There's three forms of defense. There's head movement, hand movement, blocking, and foot movement. And so I need to get better at blocking with my hands. But just as an amateur, if you would ever see me in my first fight, I was shuffling the shoulders, and I was moving those feet, and that's just a big part of my game, moving my head and moving my feet. I'm constantly working on like blocking, catching, and shooting, because that's a part that you really need to add to the pro game. But Errol is all about me putting on a show. He understands the pro game. It's about entertainment. It's about planting those shots, and that's what I'm getting better at. I'm getting better at making people miss and making them pay, especially to that liver.
Yeah. So like, what weight are you? Because you mentioned you're naturally a stocky guy. What weight are you fighting at now, and what weight is like? Would you say is your weight naturally?
Yeah, I'd definitely be campaigning at light middleweight.
Okay.
I mean, my first two fights were just at the middleweight sort of catch weight, but going forward, like long term, and that was before I was full-time boxing. That's why middleweight was just easier to make. Now I'm full-time, making light middleweight will be, I mean, it will still be making weight, but I can easily do that. And there's a lot of competition out there. I mean, in the light middleweight division, we've got some really, really strong prospects, especially coming through, and we've got some really good champions in the English division alone. On the domestic scene, I should say, you got Fitzgerald, you got Fowler, you got Hamza Shariz. Like, these are some really good fighters that can all make some entertaining fights. But if I have to go up to middleweight, I mean, I boxed as an amateur at light heavyweight, and I won. Wait, actually, let's just get these out. Let's just get these out. And I'll tell you, I didn't actually have these here for this purpose, but
let's go. Wait, put them up again. Put them up again. One more time. I
didn't have them here on purpose, but
I love it, bro.
I'm the only person to hold a light middleweight and middleweight belt at the same time in the East Midlands, in the East Midlands region. So I fought at those two weight divisions. I only had 12 fights, and I won those two belts in 7 fights. So
Trust me, if the WBC knew about that, boy, they would have just made you franchise champion immediately.
You know, like that. Yeah, you know, like
They
that.
have no respect.
I need that. No respect for belts. I'd be upgraded straight away.
Franchise in the Midlands area.
East Midlands franchise champion. No pressure, no doubt. But yeah, so them bigger guys at middleweight. Yeah, I mean, a man's a man, and this is what I say to anybody. And I had an argument in the gym with somebody, and he goes to me, look how much bigger than you are. And I said, listen, if a man's to rob your house and they're 15 stone, 6'5", are you gonna go, I ain't gonna protect my family because you're not in my weight division? It's just that real. Like, it's just that.
Can you imagine? Hey, before you take that PS5, I beg you get on the scale and let me just like, now the hydration. Putting a hydration clause at that.
Can we have the IBF hydration same day?
Nah.
But that's what I'm saying. So when you ask me a question, what weight division I fight at, I'm not stupid. Weight matters, especially when it comes to an elite level. Weight matters, but yeah, light middleweight to middleweight is where I see me being strong at.
Has any family members, obviously, because I hear you speak like loads about your mum and how much she's been involved, has any other family members jumped in ever since you look like you're on the rise now, or you look like you have a solid focus? So like when I say that, I talk about dad or just other family members that probably we haven't mentioned, basically.
Yeah. To be fair, I mean, I was raised by women. Like I was raised by real strong, independent women, and I mean, they're really the focal points of my life. I've got six aunties. Most of my cousins are female as well. So they've just been, and you know what? When say my mum was struggling, like my mum would have to work 2 jobs. Like who raised me then? Like my aunties, my grandmother, and they're who I really got raised by, and they've just always been there. It's not been a case of jumping in. They've always been there. Someone who will jump in the future when they see me on the lights will be my father. He left before I was born. And that's why I say no pressure, no diamonds. Mum had a lot on her plate. She had to raise a young man on the estate, or a young boy on the estate by herself, and that's real pressure. That's real pressure.
Come on, man! Round of applause for man right there, man. That's amazing. I'm just gonna. I want to say because I'm always interested in this, especially as we grow up as men and how our life changes. Because I had it a little bit different to you. Would you does that probably affect when you think about when you do become a parent, how you're gonna do it as a father? Do you think about that kind of stuff, or not really?
I'll tell you the deepest scene that I've ever watched. Have you ever seen that Fresh Prince of Bel-Air scene where he meets his dad?
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's a tearjerker there, bro.
Will Smith. Yeah, that's a tearjerker. Don't get me twisted.
Yeah.
Man. I like to think I'm tough, but I've shed a few tears over that scene. And even probably now, if I watch it again. A lot of man.
You see, you're not ready for it. You're not ready for that scene.
Nah, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. But jokes aside, like that scene there will depict everything that I have felt about becoming a father. There isn't a thing that my father could teach me about being a dad. And it's just that raw. I mean, my mother taught me everything that I need to know, and it's just when I have my kids, and I'm really trying to be as specific and planned about this as possible. I want to give them all my time and all my attention. Like I want to be boxing aside because that's got my full focus. I want to wait till it's right towards the end, if not at the end of my career, and so I can give my children full attention, because it was a struggle growing up. Like you you play football and you see all the kids on Father's Day when they're on a Sunday, and when it's Father's Day, and they're there watching their kids so proud, and you're there like, oh, I wish that was me. And I went through my whole childhood like trying to put like football trophies on the table, trying to get the best grades, trying to be the toughest, trying to be the most masculine, and just hope that one day he might just send me a card. But it didn't happen, and it took me a lot of reflection, mental fortitude. It took me a lot of losing, because it wasn't until I lost or quit that I realized like the lessons that maybe a father would teach you, that you should get up on your bike and go again. And I had to teach myself those lessons. I mean, I remember losing one of my first fights. I got beat up and I quit. Like, they asked me if I wanted to go, I quit. And it was like, if I would have known, if I'd have known what I knew now, or had someone to say, no, you never jump off your bike. You get back on that bike and you keep going. But I had to teach myself that. And they're the lessons that I would definitely, that I've learned from, and that I've definitely passed upon to my next generation.
And that diamond thing that you're talking about, it makes the whole world of sense. Now, when you break it down, you say it's the pressure, all those things there. Now it's like, I get it. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Oh man, yeah. Like, I mean, totally. Actually, I want to ask this: what's a fighter that inspires you? So obviously we had Errol from that or when he was an amateur
experience,
but who's one of
who's your hero? Who's the number one
heroes?
Oh, that's a really good question, because there's two answers there. There's like, who's your favorite boxer? But that's aside, because I had a couple of favorite boxers, but who actually really inspired me was Andre Ward. Really profound man. Aside from boxing, extremely profound. I mean, his I believe his mother and father both died, or one was a drug addict, one was his father was prevalent and then passed away. And boxing was his comeuppance. He found God. I would say I'm a spiritual person without being a deeply religious person. I do believe in God, but I wouldn't say I practice religion, in Christianity specifically. But he found God, and sort of that showed him the light. He beat off at his craft and didn't let anybody deter him in that manner. And that to me is just so profound. I mean, he even though he turned out to be one of the most skillful and most accomplished fighters of all time, growing up, Virgil Hunter said, like, we knew he was special, but we didn't realize he was going to be that special. It was him that had to find out how special he was going to be. And so when he talks and the way he articulates, the way he carries himself, is someone that, if I can be a tenth of the champion and person that he is, or was, or is and was, I should say, that's something someone I definitely inspired to be.
That's amazing, man.
No, that's dope, man.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, for real.
Wicked. I'm not gonna lie. I came away with so many gems as well myself. So
do you have anybody in the game right now in your division that you're looking at, that maybe the top of the game, or maybe just at British level, that you got your eyes on and you're like, that's a realistic fight in my time span of my career, even though you are where you are now, I can get to you? Is there anyone that you got your eyes on?
It's a good question, and it's a good question. I hate sitting on the fence. I like to put some gems out there, and I want to cause some controversy, because closed mouths don't get fed. But unfortunately, on this question, I can't. Like, I want whoever has the titles, and I understand that there's a stepping process. I'm not ignorant, and there's something that you can't buy or pretend to have, and that's experience. And that's something that I need to gain more of. And I'm not just going to jump into a big fight just because it's COVID and it gets offered to me. I don't need to do that. Like, my career is going to be a successful one because I make the right moves at the right time, and that's not necessarily mean I'm cherry picking my way through. That means that when it's time to take the next step, we take the next step. So the goal is for this year is to God willing, is to win that regional title / English title, if that's available. And then we progress through. So whoever got those titles at the time, I mean, like I said, there's some really strong opposition out there. There's Hamza Sharif. He'll be around for a long time. The kid's only 21 years old, and he's got skills, man. We saw him on the Frank Warren show. Tall, 6 foot, I think, really skillful. You got Fitzgerald, who I really rate him. Bit of a loose wire, but can bang. Anthony Fowler, who comes with a big pedigree. Those are all the guys that I aspire to step into the ring with and test my skills against. It's not gonna come overnight, but it's gonna come in a flash.
I love that.
No, for real.
That. Listen, this was there's very many times where we sit down and we're like, dude, I ain't got no words to say. Yeah. I enjoy this. And again, Undefeated, we're fully behind what you're doing. We're fully 100%. Behind your journey. And literally, when you win, when you get the next championship, you're going to come back on here and we're just going to have to show us again.
Yeah, for real.
We're going to do it.
Keep in touch, man.
Yeah, bro.
Definitely keep in touch.
No, I really appreciate you.
Big up, man. I really appreciate this chat, man.
Yeah,
I have to ring let me drop a bomb and ring the bell because that was sick. There you go, man.
Pressure makes diamonds.
That's it. Pressure makes diamonds. I appreciate you too. You both, man. It's real humbling to be on the show. Actually, I've got to get a quick shout out because I've got some people that just jumped on board and really helped out. So we got like the CMOS here from CBD office. I've been banging that in all my smoothies. New member to the team, Suvi Solutions. It's been helping me sleep. I suffer from crazy insomnia, especially when training. Like I don't sleep. Like I wake up, train, go to bed, and I'm just staring at ceilings. But since I've been taking this, it's been a different gravy. So CBD Solutions, CBD, or make sure you jump on that.
CBD Solutions, bruv. Let's go. We need even more sponsorships, bruv. So
exactly.
That's right. We need it to the top. So, but no, I appreciate you guys having me on, and I hope you both stay safe towards the back end of the pandemic. And shout out to everybody on the Undefeated podcast. Boom.
Big up,
brother.
Back. No pressure, no diamonds. Just remember.
Yo, people, thanks for watching the Undefeated podcast. Make sure you
like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and all that good stuff. Make sure and come back, bruv. Tell a friend, tell your grandma, tell your dad, tell everyone, tell your cousins. Let's go.